Off and running, hour 2 of 3. You're listening to Bumper to Bumper Sports. It's National Signing Day 2018, and who loves you but Acadiana Sports Station 1037 The Game. Ben Love inside the Moncla Indoor Practice Facility. Our pleasure to take in the Cajuns version of National Signing Day, and our distinct pleasure, second year in a row, we get to sit down with Dr. Brian Maggard, Athletics Director of the Ragin' Cajuns. This time a year ago, I imagine that the that rotating wheel had just started spinning. Now it's probably going even faster than ever.
It is going faster. It's spinning, differently, but it is. I didn't really think about this being the second year in a row that we're sitting down like this. Topic on year one was a little bit different than this one in terms of just, that was more about, hey, what do you think about the new opportunity? And now we're a year into it. So it's been very good, though. Very, very good.
So less assessing at this point, although I'm sure it never ends, and a little more implementation, a little more discussing and planning future implementation. Is it a more comforting place to be this time as compared to a year ago?
Oh, very much so. You feel like you're on, you have a sense of rationale to what you're doing. There's a method to the madness. A year ago I was just trying to absorb as much as I could, and again, it's the newness. Today, we're a year into it. We've got a lot more work to do. We know that, but I feel like we've made some good strides to date, and but yeah, more comforting because you just kind of feel like you're in more control.
You've also hired a new head coach. Our guest right now is Athletics Director Dr. Brian Maggard, and I mean football with Billy Napier. Not even touching on softball with Jerry Glasgow, but specific to football, what have you seen from this man who earlier today said, hey, it's been 52 days, we're not done, but a few pieces of the puzzle may be left. They still are very pleased with what they did today on signing day.
I see in Billy, I see a system, I see organization, I see a plan, I see a vision, and those were the things that, really attracted me to him prior to meeting with him, and then meeting with him in person for the first time. You saw, this is a guy who comes from a system. He has a system, and he's going to be very, very focused on making sure that, we do things the right way. We're going to build a program here, and we're going to make sure that we do things in a manner that will create positive results. And so when you look at how he built a staff, very quickly, and it's a really high-quality staff, what we're doing from the support personnel around him and then his coaches, and then this recruiting class, I think the future is very, very bright.
Did you know that anybody you hired at that time would have at least a little bit of a hand tied behind their back because of the early signing period? And frankly, for what it's worth, I think you made the right call, not taking any kids in the early signing period. But still, the timing of when you had to make that hire, this was going to be a tough go for him, and I do think he's made the best of it.
I agree. I think, anytime there is transition, in this sport, it's the time frame that we were operating in. So, that piece of it's not necessarily new, unlike the softball situation, trying to find a coach in November for softball. But, from the football standpoint, you knew, that when changes are made in that sport, it's usually in December, and you know what you're up against, and coaches know that, and coach certainly knew that. That's something we talked about. And I fully supported, whatever decision he wanted to make with regards to the early signees. And his rationale, in my opinion, was dead on. And I can appreciate, not wanting, to jump into a relationship with young men who he didn't know, but in their defense, who didn't know him.
Right. We got a big party coming up here, and that's part of what I wanted to ask you about next. Is some people would say it's the old Al Davis adage, right? Just win, baby. But here it is the product. You guys have put an emphasis on that. People that have attended games, football, basketball, otherwise, have seen that this year. Why has that been an emphasis, and what kind of things will you continue to do?
Well, I think, in today's day and age, you have to focus on the fan experience. It's not enough to just, provide a ticket, come to our game, watch the product on the field. People want to be entertained. And there's so many different aspects of entertainment involved in a sporting event. I look at the NBA. I think they do a fantastic job of entertaining their fans.
Yeah.
The game is just anymore a small aspect of the entertainment in an NBA game. And so we want to make sure that we provide a culture that is family friendly, that is is fun for all ages. But at the same time, we know that there's a very, very important aspect of putting a quality product on the field. Moving forward, again, we want to continue to grow on the experience. We want to make sure that, one, we provide a quality, affordable product. We want to make sure that when families come, that they can bring the kids, have a good time pre-game, during the game, post-game. Listen, the Raging Cajuns have figured out tailgating long before I got here, so that aspect of it was covered. But again, just how we make more efficient little things like how you get into the stadium and get out. Concession lines, opportunities like that. Those are small pieces that often go unnoticed until people have a bad experience and you hear about it. So, just moving forward, we want to make sure that, again, we just continue to capitalize on making sure that people have a lot to entertain them pre, during, and post game, and making sure that they have a great experience when they're here, because we appreciate their patronage, and listen, we know that people can spend their ancillary income on a lot of different things, and so we appreciate them doing it with the Cajuns.
Our listeners that are driving around, or maybe they're about to get in the car, come home from work, don't forget, 5:30, doors are going to open. That's about 21 minutes from right now, and then at 6 o'clock you'll hear, I think you'll be part of that group, and I know Billy Napier, coordinators, assistants will be up there.
Correct.
We'll address this class, show some film, and talk a little bit about the future. So this is just part of the type of activities I know you're talking about. I have to ask about the deal that was struck and announced, I believe, a week ago with Cox Sports Television, a little bit with Jumbo Sports producing as well. The ability to get the Raging Cajuns brand throughout Louisiana, and look, on CST, I don't have to tell you, I mean, Phoenix, California.
West Coast, Northeast, absolutely.
How did it get done?
Nico Yanko, he got that done for us. It's a relationship he started with CST, and we were something that they were interested in. It puts us in about 3.5 million households.
Wow.
And from West Coast to East Coast. And again, it's an opportunity to, again, just continue to promote our brand. Now, granted, we've got alumni and fans throughout the entire nation, but we absolutely really appreciate the opportunity to get in the households of so many people and just promote that brand. It's about recognition, it's about exposure, and we feel like it's a good step forward for us.
Our guest, Dr. Brian Maggard. We're visiting on National Signing Day 2018. I alluded to the fact we did this last year. It was, I believe, your first day here, and so we touched on what's changed between that day and today. Some of the other things that you're going to put an emphasis on moving forward. You've hired a couple of coaches, but I guess we can't forget there's an awfully good basketball program, men's and women's, but the men this year continue to tear it up. So what are the things you look forward to in the next couple of months?
Well, I look forward to continuing to win each game. Bob has done a great job of getting our talented team to focus one game at a time, and I think that is so critical, for the opportunity to win out. You start looking ahead, and somebody will sneak up on you. We've got a big game tomorrow night against a very, very good Georgia State team. We know that, but again, I know our guys are going to be focused. They're going to play well, and I really believe if we play our best game, we'll come out of there in good shape. But again, you can't look past them, and then certainly when you get past them, if you're fortunate enough to win, you can't look past Georgia Southern.
Sure.
Because they can slip up and get you. So very excited about the opportunity, though. It's a fun team to watch, as you know, very talented, very athletic. And I think we really have a great opportunity this year to do some special things.
Before the season, it was Bob Marlin. Okay, this wasn't speculation. The head man came and told me, we've put a very good schedule together in non-conference, but we're going to have to win the Sun Belt Conference tournament. He said, Ben, that's the only way we can get in. Maybe that narrative is changing a little bit. Are we going to get to the point where this isn't a one-bid league, or what's your vision of that?
I don't know. I hope so. I do hope so. It'd be a great opportunity. I think it should be that way. It is unfortunate that you have to win it all, in the tournament to have a chance, because, the way those tournaments can go, as the regular season champion could stub their toe, and the eighth seed team, could win it, and they're the ones who are representing you in the tournament.
You're one injury away.
Absolutely. And so, I do think that the success of this team this year is changing that narrative a little bit, and I think we're garnering a lot of good, positive national attention. So we'll see what happens, but at the end of the day, we want to compete for and win championships. We want to win conference championships, postseason championships, and those then provide the opportunities. So we want to still win those and then get to the big dance.
We'll finish with baseball. It's on deck, and everybody's very excited about it. Okay, so Tony Robichaux's got his new cathedral. He's got Rousseau Park, Teague Moore Field. What comes next to continue to help that program scale even better heights?
Well, I think, again, we got to make sure that, as I sit down with Coach on an annual basis, that we're providing him with the resources he needs to be successful. we got to make sure that we're continuously thinking about moving forward and how do we enhance, whether it's his recruiting budget, whether it's how we know one thing we need to do in that area is we need to get started on thinking about a clubhouse and offices.
Okay.
To add to Russo Park. It's a beautiful facility, but from a recruiting standpoint, we got to make sure that we're positioning Coach Robe and his staff to bring in high-level talent and securing when they can walk them in and see a beautiful player clubhouse, offices for the staff. So that would kind of be the next phase and really the final piece on that cathedral, as you called it. But Coach has done such a great job. I mean, he's if I had 10 more like him, it wouldn't be enough. I want to make sure we secure him, make sure he finishes his career here. We will do that, and then just again continue to position him, with the resources he needs, facilities, budgets, and things like that. Because that's a sport like softball today. Those two sports we can compete for and win national championships. Sure. And we know that, and we want to make sure that we're doing that. And then all of our other sports, depending on where they're at, that may be competing and winning conference championships. But ultimately, that's the goal. Compete for and win championships at the highest levels we can, and make sure we graduate every young man and young woman who completes their eligibility.
Coach Napier sat in this chair before you. He said he's going to be the Grand Marshal of, I think, 2 Mardi Gras parades this year. What do the Maggards do for, for Fat Tuesday?
It's our first Mardi Gras season here, and we have been invited to and have accepted invitations to 3 balls.
Wow.
Friday night, Saturday night, and Monday night. And we've had some people scratch their heads and say, wait, what are you doing? That's an awful lot. So we'll try to survive that this time around and see how it goes. But we're really excited. I mean, it's a neat culture down here. I've never experienced Mardi Gras. I did have the good fortune to go up to D.C. and experience the D.C. Mardi Gras. So I think that started to at least get the appetite a little bit teased about what it's about. But really looking forward to the events here. I hope the weather, holds out so people can enjoy the parades and things like that. But we're excited. I'm not going to be a Grand Marshal in any ball, but I will put a tux on and go to a ball.
You just jogged my memory. I have Ruffin Rodri going every Monday. He did tell me that you were at the D.C. Mardi Gras. So did you see, Raising Cane 3 presented to the world?
Yes. What now? That the party, the Friday night party? Are you talking about, or?
All I know is it happened that weekend. You got to tell me I wasn't there.
So, Raising Cane. Help me with the gentleman's name.
Todd Graves.
Todd Graves, yes, absolutely. He was the king, or whatever they call it.
Sure.
I'm still learning all this, but there was, I know he put on a function. I believe it was Thursday or Friday night. I don't remember which. I did not participate in that, but people acts like Flo Rida and others were there.
Wow.
It's a pretty big time deal. I heard it was a fantastic event. But no, it was a neat experience. I do remember running into Ruffin, and he was going strong, representing both really Baton Rouge and Lafayette.
As he always does.
As he always does,
yeah.
And he's a first-class guy. And but no, it was a neat experience. And I didn't stay for the Saturday night big ball, if you will. I got back to be at our sporting events here, but again, I'm looking forward to taking it in and seeing what it's all about. Still don't have a full grasp of what Mardi Gras is about, the history of it, but I'll try to get myself educated.
Hey, this time next year you'll be teaching me some things.
There you go.
I look forward to that. You're always welcome here. Dr. Brian Maggard, thank you for the time.
Thank you for having me.
We got to hit a break. We're coming right back in. You're listening to Bumper Sports, special NSD 18 edition on 103.7 The Game.